So another thing about you, Ari, um,
Yeah.
you are autistic,
Yeah, I am.
and so how are you considered? Are you like highly functioning autistic, or like what would the diagnosis be?
Autism. Um, Traditionally, I think I'd be labeled high functioning, but a lot of autistic people don't really like the rhetoric of high functioning versus low functioning.
Right.
It's divisive, and both it's ableist towards both high functioning and low functioning people, in that it enables ableism towards low functioning people in a very direct way where they can be discriminated against very directly, and it is ableist towards high functioning people in that it invalidates their needs and accommodations by making it out to be, oh, you're high functioning, why do you need support, why do you need all this stuff? And I think a better way to look at autism is more a wheel of symptoms, sort of like a color wheel,
Mm-hmm.
like for digital color.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a better way to look at it, because you can be, if we look at like the three sort of main categories for autistic symptoms, it manifests as social issues, cognitive issues, and sensory issues, right? So if you have this wheel, oh shit, if you have this wheel with these 3 points on it, you can be anywhere on that wheel, closer or further from any of those points, with more intensity based on how in or out of the circle you are, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if we're looking at it that way, I have some light cognitive issues and some medium heavy social and sensory issues. That's
Do
that's how
so
I would.
so in what ways, thank you for the well thought out response,
Yeah,
but it
absolutely.
in what ways, like, do you feel, or obviously you don't know how I perceive the world, but
Right.
I myself, not being autistic, what ways do you think that your perception of the world might vary from mine? Or maybe not even perception, maybe just simply your experience of the world.
Yeah. I well, I'll start with perception and then go to experience, I guess. Which I guess are sort of the same thing, but I'm just gonna organize my thoughts however the fuck I feel like it. um, I we're talking in a very literal way. I hear more than I think neurotypical people do, because of my sensory stuff. Like like I remember I couldn't. I mean, I already have really bad sleep issues, man. Where I'm horrible in insomnia, and then I have a really hard time waking up. But I remember as a kid, before I kind of learned how to tune out background noise, I I would stay awake for like days at a time because the clock in my room would tick,
Mm.
and I was so fully and highly aware of that ticking that I couldn't fall asleep.
Oh man.
And that's like still true. Like right now in my room, like I can hear the furnace in the background, and like the hissing of my speakers even though they're off or they're not being used, and I can hear a fly buzzing, I think 2 rooms from there, and I can hear the lights buzzing, and I'm really highly aware of it all. It's just as loud to me as like your voices, you
Wow.
know?
That
Yeah.
is very hard to imagine. So not only like the volume that you hear it at, do you think you are
Or
actually
it's
sensing like sounds at a lower?
not. I think anyone could sense them, and it's not even that they're louder for me or that the volume as your voice was the same word, but they're at the same level of my awareness as your voice. You know,
Okay. Yep. That's a difference than the way I
like
got it at first.
a lot of neurotypical people, and I myself too, access that state of mind through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You sit and you close my eyes and you dedicate all your attention to feeling what's around you. And I think that's part of being autistic, is that you don't necessarily have to meditate for that, or at least for my autism. I'm just always in this constant state of feeling everything around me as at the same level of awareness as I would feel the like things I'm supposed to be focusing on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel, have you experienced like what some may, one of like the almost like stereotypes of autism is like a hyperfixation on a skill or task? Like, do you feel like you've experienced that with maybe music particularly?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Dude, I play like 6 instruments and I've been doing it for since I was like shit, like 15 years. And I'll spend like 7 hours a day practicing. I mean, part of that is just me choosing to work hard, but also part of that is me willing to fixate. And you know, a lot of the stuff I do starts out as a fixation, and then it stops being a fixation. Like I'll get really into like Bulgarian folk music for like
It seems
a month.
so niche.
Oh yeah, dude, I actually fucking love Bulgarian folk music. It's dope as shit. But
That's
I
interesting.
got into Bulgarian folk music for like a month, like a year and a half ago, and now it's part of my music rotation. And I don't like hyper fixate on it the same way I was for that month, because for that month that was like the main music I listened to.
Hmm.
But like now it's just part of my rotation. Or like same shit happened with like Afro-Cuban music, or with like mixing. Like I've been fixated with mixing the last month or two. And I mean, and I was already good at mixing. I was already into it, but I got refixated on it. And then when this fixation is over, I'll go for a while without fixating again, and then I'll get another one, and I'll get really good at something, and then it, you know, I just incorporate it all into my set of skills.
Yeah, yeah.
It in some ways it's like really nice because it's a really cool way to just like develop a skill super fast.
Get good at something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel frustrating.
I think in